Good morning, North Coast, and welcome. It's Thursday, the 28th of October. Welcome to Good Morning, North Coast. I am Zoe Sturgeon, your anchor for this morning's show. We have a seriously jam-packed show this morning, as we will not be broadcasting tomorrow due to load shedding. Boo. Or Monday, actually, because of the public holiday. So we all get to sleep in for a few mornings. Yes. So, on with the lineup for today, which will include and start off with the weather and surf report with an extended version brought to you by Heili and Deon. Now, Pratisha was supposed to be with us, but Tony is going to be stepping in her shoes today to provide us with our daily inspiration. Before sports anchor, Matt Williams updates us on all things sports, brought to you by Hunt Properties. Miss Ballito organizers Heidi Smith and Landman join me in studio, followed after that by our regular Thursday slot with Warren Loader, Thoughts of a Middle-Aged Man blog, and he's going to bring us another one of his wondrous stories. Chandramala time follows that with Sharon Sinclair up next, and I bring you the entertainment segment, which would usually be tomorrow, but we're doing that today with Ashleigh Joseph, followed by my weekend vibes. Our last interview for the morning is with Holten from Syntelo, and then the show closes with the music video from the gorgeous and talented Ashleigh before I hand the reins over to Laugh Out Larry after the show. Our stream continues throughout the day, and a reminder that you can catch the very next episode of Chandramala tonight at 7:30 only on Ballito TV. And I must also mention and thank our water sponsors, Pooza Water. Now, on with the show. Let's see what Heili and Deon have to tell us.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your weather for today and the weekend, brought to you by Ballito Gas and Bry. It will be cloudy today with a high of 23 degrees and a low of 18 degrees. The real feel will be 22 degrees and the real feel shade 21 degrees. We have a northeasterly wind at 20 kilometers per hour and wind gusts at 32 kilometers per hour. Also, 25% chance of showers today. The sunrise will be at 5:05 a.m. and the sunset at 6:14 p.m. It's remaining cloudy on Friday with a high of 27 degrees and a low of 19 degrees. And then on Saturday, it will be partly sunny and pleasant with a high of 23 degrees and a low of 16 degrees. And then Sunday, also partly sunny but pleasant with a high of 24 degrees and a low of 17 degrees. And then today, Pretoria bewolkt vandag with a high of 22 degrees and a low of 15 degrees. Joburg ook bewolkt vandag with a high of 20 degrees and a low of 13 degrees. And then Cape Town partly sunny with a high of 22 degrees and a low of 15 degrees. Goeie, daar is 'n mond vol. Next up will be your surf report brought to you by 10:10 skryfbehoeftes and Deon from Victory Surf. Dit lyk daarom of die bewolkheid so 'n bietjie gaan opklaar na vandag. Geniet julle naweek and we'll see you again on Monday.
Good morning, Ballito, and welcome to Thursday morning's beach report. And it's definitely not a beach day. It's still very windy out there, and a northeasterly from 20 to 30 knots is going to blow all day long, and the kite boarders will be in heaven today. So no surf really. The body boarders and the surfers will have to wait until the weekend for some offshore to start blowing. And with a low tide towards the middle of the day, the kite boarders are going to have absolute fun up at Tiffany's Reef. To go and see all those colored canopies up there, it's going to be a great wind sport day. 21 degrees, and eventually a little bit of rain has subsided, and a great wind sport day, as I said. But Saturday we've got an offshore the whole day, so definitely some good waves on Saturday, and light offshore breezes during the course of the day. Sunday also light variable winds from the south, and then turning into an onshore in the afternoon. The Monday surf session will probably be an early morning one as well, because we've got a big westerly coming through on Monday afternoon. So get your voting done after you've surfed on Monday, and enjoy your weekend. It's definitely going to be better. Lots of warm weather we're expecting on Sunday and Monday, 25, 26 degrees. So enjoy your weekend.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we are going to kick off our show with the usual daily inspiration today with Tony Subramani. Welcome.
Thank you.
What have you got for us today, Tony?
Yeah, thanks. So, we're just talking, celebrating recovery, and I want to compliment and congratulate those who have embarked on the journey of recovery, and I want to encourage others who are struggling and challenged with recovery to make the decision and come on board. And there is hope for you. There's so much more that you could look forward to. Today I want to touch on a kind of a controversial aspect of addiction, and that is over-the-counter medication. Now, it's medication when it's intended for the purpose it's prescribed for. It becomes a drug eventually when it is not used for the condition that it was originally prescribed for. And what's happening is that it's a kind of secret addiction. And it's one that is just accepted very often by the public at large because it's legal, it's over the counter, you don't have to duck and dive into the nooks and crooks and the dark nights to get your drug of choice. And what's happening is that initially when you take it, it is, as I said, helping you to overcome a certain condition, health condition, and eventually it becomes an addiction. And that's something that I want to encourage people to start looking at very, very seriously. How long have you been on the medication? Has it been reviewed? Has that increased, the dosage has been increased over time? Are you able to make a committed decision to say, look, I need to do something about it because you can't continue living your life on medication, right? And there's always an opportunity to actually cut down or even give up the kind of medication that people are on as well too. Now I say controversial because I'm not in any way insinuating anything about the professionals that prescribe the medication. That we need to be very, very clear. Because as I said at the beginning, it serves a purpose, but eventually it becomes a dependency. Someone recently said that we're going to medicate human experience out of a human experience. And that's scary because last year alone, there were 18 million people worldwide that were addicted to, in America, that were addicted to prescriptive drugs.
That's insane.
And that's from an age of 12 years old.
Wow.
12 years and above.
But I can imagine with it being prescribed, it comes with so many challenges because it's harder for people to even accept that there's a problem because the doctor said I could take it. I've got that backache or I've got that migraine. So it comes with so many challenges, just more so the traditional drug use to getting people to actually accept that this is a problem.
For sure. And I fully acknowledge that it does become a challenge in that sense. But as I said, one needs to take cognizance of the fact that, am I addicted? Is it something I'm using over a period of time? Is it really serving a purpose? Is it still, helping with the condition that I originally was suffering from or challenged with? And that's where the questions come in. So it's important to have a very, very serious look at how long you've been on it and what purpose is it serving as well. Now, there's ways of actually overcoming it, and one of the ways is when you look at AccuDetox, which I perform. And AccuDetox is auricular acupuncture. Right? Yeah. And that's where I work with your psychiatrist or the specialist that's actually been prescribing the medication and gradually help you to cut down and eventually get to a place where you're no longer dependent on the medication. So it is something that is possible to overcome, but it's something also we need to look at very, very seriously. Because it's a prescription that you hand over, you get your medication and you think it's legal, so it's okay. But the reality about it is it's not okay. The other thing is that what kind of quality life are we living when we're basically on medication for so many hours in the day?
Yes.
Some of them are taking it every day. I worked with a 32-year-old youngster who was on 14 tablets a day. That's 3 times a day, 14 tablets. And that's crazy
insane
stuff. So I'm actually coming in where I'm saying that when one looks at it and is becoming concerned about how long you've been on it and what effect it's having, and are you now being prescribed other medication to counteract and help you with conditions that you didn't expect, then it is cause for concern.
Now, something I'm curious about before we finish up is that from what little I know is you can get kind of the same painkillers, for example, that aren't addictive. Should parents especially be rather with their kids, would it not be wise to get them started on these non-addictive painkillers from the beginning to help avoid having our youngsters growing up to be used to taking all this addictive medication?
Well, the starting point is, that's a very, very important statement that you're making, but the starting point is to try and avoid medication, even for painkillers, right? Even for painkillers, you know. One needs to look at other methods that you can actually use in order to overcome the pain. However, when it's prescribed, then it is important to look at what's addictive and what's not addictive.
And being able to recognize, like, okay, this backache is just, it's not even there, but I'm still taking this medication. You know, we've become a pill-popping nation, and we should not be proud of that. And it's something that we need to look at very, very seriously. But just before I go as well, I want to also send a message out to the youth that's out there, that's also, you know, stressing around the exam periods, and they've also been, you know, in lockdown for so long, and they've had to, you know, kind of endure so many changes as far as schools are concerned and the study programs, and they're stressing and things. And need to look at natural ways of overcoming that. So I want to encourage them to reach out. My number's on the screen. Reach out. We can have a chat. All conversations are confidential, and it's private. So we need to encourage the youngsters to put their hand up and say, look, enough is enough. Either they are victims of the medication that they're on, or they're probably witnessing it in the families that they're living it with as well. Which isn't going to set a very good example.
Yes.
But that's very informative. Thank you, Tony. I wish we could talk about this more, but we've just run out of time.
Sure.
But thank you so much for joining us, Tony. I hope we get to discuss this more again in the future.
Definitely. Thanks, Zoe.
Thank
you so
you,
much.
Tony. Right, we're going to be moving on to an ad break, everyone. And then after that, Matt Williams will be giving us the sports update.
Hi Ballito, I'm Tanya. I'm the lady from So It Seems Benina in Ballito. You can find us in Richard Park, right across from the Hirsch. The new shop, it's 3 times bigger than the old shop. We have lots more fabric, a lot more haberdashery items. If you can't sew, I will teach you how to sew. I have an additional teacher that helps us sew, and we have a fabulous space upstairs. Looking for a Benina machine or a Bennett? I will sort you out with that one. In this little area, we do everything. We service the sewing machine, we service the overlocker. We fix it up for you. Within a week, you'll have it back. While you go through the pattern books, we have a coffee shop in-house called Buttonless Coffee. You can have a coffee or a snack to eat while you do your pattern searching, fabric searching, or sewing upstairs with us. See you soon!
This sports segment is proudly brought to you by Hunt Properties.
Morning sports fans, let's kick it off with some football news. And West Ham ended Manchester City's 4-year hold on the League Cup on Wednesday as Liverpool and Tottenham booked their places in the quarterfinals. City's record run in the competition came to an end at the London Stadium as the Hammers emerged 5-3 winners from a penalty shootout after both sides were guilty of missing plenty of chances in a goalless draw. In other results from the round of 16 over the past 2 days, Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0, Chelsea beat Southampton 4-3 on penalties, Sunderland beat QPR 3-1 on penalties, Preston 0, Liverpool 2, Burnley 0, Spurs 1, Stoke 1, Brentford 2. Moving to some Premier League news now, and selected fixtures coming up this weekend. On Saturday in the early game at 1:30, it's Leicester City against Arsenal. In matches kicking off at 4 p.m, Liverpool host Brighton, Man City tackle Crystal Palace. Also at 4 p.m, it's Newcastle against Chelsea, and in the late game at 6:30, Spurs host Man United. On Sunday at 4 p.m, it's Norwich City against Leeds United, and at 6:30, Aston Villa host West Ham. And some Monday night football to look forward to at 10 p.m, it's Wolves vs Everton. Moving to some local football news now, and Stellenbosch FC continued their strong start to the DStv Premiership with a 1-0 home win over Marumo Gallants at the Donny Craven Stadium on Wednesday afternoon. The result, secured by a first half strike from Ashleigh sees the Maroons rise to second place on the log, 3 points behind leaders Mamelodi Sundowns, who have played a game less, as well as extend their unbeaten start to the season to 8 matches. In other football headlines just breaking through the evening, and Ronald Koeman has been sacked as the coach of Barcelona. The club announced on Wednesday after a defeat to Rayo Vallecano left them 9th in the La Liga. Barca have won just 2 of their last 7 league games under Koeman, a run that has included losing to Real Madrid in Sunday's El Clasico at Camp Nou. A poor start to the season has raised the possibility of the team failing to qualify for next year's Champions League, which would be an enormous consequences for a club already in dire financial situation. Moving to some rugby news now, and international fixtures to look forward to this weekend. On Saturday at 3:30, it's Scotland against Tonga, and at 6:15, Wales host the All Blacks. And finally, some cricket news from the T20 World Cup, and Ruben Truppelman termed Namibia's 4-wicket win over Scotland as massive, after his figures of 3 for 17 helped them to extend their dream run at the T20 World Cup in the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi on Wednesday. Chasing a tricky 110, JJ Smith made an unbeaten 32 to drive Namibia home with 5 balls to spare in their first ever Super 12 match of the tournament after they came through the qualifying round. Smith and David Visa, who made 16, put on a key partnership of 35 in a low-scoring match to hand Scotland their second loss of the group stages. In today's one and only fixture coming up at 4 p.m, it's Australia against Sri Lanka, and next up for the Proteas, they'll be in action on Saturday at 12 p.m. as they also tackle Sri Lanka. I'm Matt Williams for Good Morning North Coast Sport. You have yourself an awesome sporting weekend, and remember, for all the runners out there, to get down to the Hunt Properties 5K Friday at 5:30 tomorrow morning in front of Concha. Have a good one.
This sports segment is proudly brought to you by Hunt Properties.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I'll
welcome back everyone, and a lovely shout out to Marissa and Carla and Josh who are watching with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we move on to the next lovely interview that we're doing. We have the Miss Ballito organisers with us, Karen and Heidi. Welcome.
Good morning.
I've never had the chance to have you on the couch before, but you've been here quite a few times, which is awesome. But now let's talk about what's happened with Miss Ballito, because obviously it's done. So let's talk first, before we move on to the future, let's go back a little bit. How was it this year?
Oh, it was amazing. We had our crowning event at Relax Inn. It was a beautiful venue. The finalists all got together from early in the afternoon. It was quite a build up, you know, for them to actually walk on stage. So they loved having their hair and makeup done and getting dressed in all the different outfits. So yeah, it was quite a fun evening, and we are so thankful for all the sponsors and everyone else that was there. Yeah, so we're very, very happy. It was a successful event.
Awesome. Well, we were watching closely because we obviously have one of our very own who was very involved in that. But tell me about our crowning, our winners, our princess, and all of that.
Well, Sikizo Vilakazi is our
Yes.
new Miss Ballito. We're very excited. She
How
is
exciting.
absolutely amazing. And then we
know.
also have Julie Blevin and Megan Lane, who I'm sure will keep the name high.
Definitely.
And we have got all sorts of things planned for next year. So we are
Yes.
super excited. And we're also hoping that the sponsors of those finalists and our
Yes.
princesses will come on board and get involved
stick
in our
around.
community as well. Yes.
That's phenomenal. That's awesome. Now, while we're heading in that direction, going forward, now we're obviously looking for 2022, and I assume the planning has to start like sooner rather than later. It's quite a big event. I can only imagine it takes a whole year for you ladies to
pretty
plan.
much.
Where are we on the planning process so far?
Yeah, normally we normally feel like we have a week or two after the crowning, and then we already start preparing for the next year, you know.
Goodness, you get a week or two off, that's
yeah,
it.
it's like such a long process, but we actually love it. And yeah, we'll start having meetings soon, Heidie and myself and Rotary, and we'll get everything going. So, yeah.
Do we have any information for any ladies out there that would like to actually think about entering for 2022? Anything you can prepare them for? Any idea of entry dates, how they can get involved?
Yeah, I think by middle of Jan, we'll probably open entries again for next year. So I think the best would be to follow us on our social media sites, and any questions, they can just send us a DM or a WhatsApp. Our numbers are on there, or send us an email. But this year, we're also really looking at starting Rotaract, which is the younger version of Rotary, between the ages of 18 and 30. So our ladies are very excited about getting this off the ground. So if there's anyone else in our community, in the youth, that would be interested, they must just also maybe on social media send us a message, or just contact us via email. It would be awesome.
Well, while we're on the topic, I knew nothing about that. While we're on the topic, tell me a little bit more about that. If anyone wants to get involved in that, what would be the involvement?
Well, it's pretty
What
much...
do you need, basically?
You just need to be between the age of
You
18
just need
and
to be in
30,
the age group.
and you need to be willing to get involved in the community. It
Okay,
is a
yes.
fundraising initiative,
Yes,
so
of course.
obviously wherever you can help out, and you've got Rotary Zimbabwe as your backing, so you'll be guided along the way. Yeah,
It'd be a good learning experience.
Yes.
That sounds fantastic. How exciting. Now, obviously, I'm a musician. I'm used to being on stage, but it gives me a lot of leeway to pretty much do what I want, look how I want, and sound how I want. I can only imagine, though, watching Megan, it was my first experience being involved in this whole ramping, watching, and it looks so intimidating. But you ladies have been a huge support for those young ladies involved. I mean, it must be quite an immense project to take on.
Yeah, it was amazing on the evening to see, you know, when the ladies actually started, right in the beginning with their first interview round, and throughout the whole process, how they just gained confidence, and we were so proud to see them walking on stage with so much confidence, and the way they answered their questions. It was nice to look back to where they started and where they ended up. And this is not a process that's just going to stop. We are actually having a weekend on the 6th of November with our girls. So we're taking them away again to Kajabi Lodge, which is going to be amazing. We can have photo shoots and just a bit of team building afterwards, and just, you know, just reconnect and reflect on everything that's happened during the Miss
because they've been
Ballito
through so
journey.
much together. It doesn't have to end, and they've probably made lifelong friendships there as well. How exciting!
Yeah, it's very exciting to continue, seeing the girls and interacting with them. So,
Yes, and so many of them started, I mean, I know just from watching Megan and all the hard work that she did, started these projects, and they worked so hard that it's nice to keep up with them to make sure that actually follows through and to help support them throughout.
Definitely.
That's fantastic. Absolutely love it. I've been watching from afar, just been absolutely marveling at the amount of hard work that goes into it. And what I love about it, from what I've seen, is it's more than just standing and looking pretty and picture perfect. There's a lot of actual personal growth that's, beautiful from the inside and out, which I think is so cool.
I also just say it's not just the girls that grow, we grow every year
Yes,
too. We learn so much from them. It's definitely a mutual thing, this.
Yes. I can imagine it's quite challenging with all the clashing hormones and everything. But
yeah, we love being part of their journey as well. And we are also looking forward to seeing what happens in the next year, because the girls all had to create community projects. And when they presented their projects, they could actually see, I can do this with that one, and they can, work with each other and help each other with their projects. So we're looking forward to see what the next year holds,
what
and
they do with it.
how they're actually going to interact and build on their projects together.
That's incredible.
Yes, and we've also been approached by Colette from Ballito Pro, so we're going to have our top girls involved there as well, which is very exciting.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I'm so excited. We'll hopefully all be there as well, so that's going to be exciting. And just before we close, if you've got any advice for any young ladies that are watching that would like to get involved, have you got any advice or tips for them on what they can expect to be getting involved in? Because it is a lot of hard work. Have you got anything to tell them that they can prepare themselves for?
I think the biggest thing is just to be yourself and to be willing to help. That is, that is essentially what it's about. It's not about just walking up and down, parading in some fancy outfit or a cozy. It's really about getting hands-on involved in our community and helping wherever you can.
That's fantastic. Okay, we're raising, I suppose, the next generation that's going to go into the world, and these are the lessons that they're learning for the North Coast, which is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you
Thank you so
much
much for
Thanks
coming
having
in.
us.
Awesome, and I look forward to having you back in again soon, so we can, when we get closer to what's happening next year, we can discuss what's happening. And I think you ladies have quite a bit of planning to do between now and then. So I'll look forward to hearing what you have to say for me next time. Thank you so much. You guys heard it. Awesome. You got to keep your eyes peeled, and remember, those lovely ladies will be at Mr. Pro. Is that right? The Ballito Pro. So they will be there. Keep your eyes peeled, guys. Now we're going to be going into an ad break, and then Warren's going to be joining me. Stick around.
By Ballito Gas en Braai fokus ons op ons kliënte. Vriendelike en doeltreffende diens is wat ons anders maak. Ons werk as 'n span met integriteit en deursigtigheid. Hier bied ons kliënte 'n onvergeetlike ervaring en werk ons met die beste belang van ons kliënt. Ons lewer nie net produkte aan ons kliënte nie, ons lewer ook 'n volledige diens, insluitend onderdele en tegniese ondersteuning.
At 1018 Skryfproefdes Ballito, we offer an array of convenience services for our clients. With an in-store, fully operational business center, all under one roof, 1018 Skryfproefdes Ballito is fully stocked with all your leading stationery brands. Proudly Ballito for Ballito.
Welcome back, everyone, and we have Warren Loader back in with us for another fantastic story. Welcome back.
Morning.
As always look so forward to your stories. Now, I did my homework as usual. We have quite an interesting conversation to be had now. Fill everyone in. What are we discussing today?
Yeah, this is a totally honest opinion of myself. It's a bit out there. I thought I would sort of like just stretch myself a little bit. And I'm very happy how it came out. Basically what it is, it's just a story of, well, it's remembering growing up in the late 70s, early through the 80s and the early 90s in apartheid South Africa. And it's raw. I don't hold anything back, and it's just, those are the memories that I remember, memories that weren't very good, but memories that made us who we are today.
Yeah, and it's another side of the story.
Yeah.
Another side to the story that most people don't hear, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's a side of the story that a lot of us have forgotten about. We tend to put the negative things behind us and not remember them. And after writing it, I actually had a lot of people message me and say, "Wow, I remember that. You wrote it just like how I remembered it was." Or you brought back all those memories that we had been shelving for all these years.
Yes.
So, and I think it's important to remember where we come from and how we've had to deal with things in the past, because if we just hide them and we don't think about them, then they're lost forever and we don't learn anything from them.
Exactly.
And I specifically think that the youth of today need to know these stories. They need to know what we went through so that they could have a better life themselves.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it is definitely important to remember. And for people that didn't go through there, it's a good read for them to actually know that me as a white South African was also affected by apartheid, because the whole reason for writing the story was another lady had written in and said, well, apartheid actually helped white people and didn't do anything for, didn't affect us negatively. So I thought about it, and I started chronologically from when I was very small, growing up right through to my teens and then through to young adulthood, and picking out the certain parts that did affect me, and writing them down. And a lot of other people said, "Wow, yeah, I remember that too." And then it actually opened up a platform for people to speak about it.
Yes, because I love the way you wrote it. It started off as a child, not necessarily understanding what was happening, but the more you grow up, the more you start to pay attention to these things.
Yes.
As a child, as a young child, but then heading into being a young man. And in the story, you said that it was compulsory for all young men to do their part in the army, if I'm right.
Yes.
From the age of 16 or 17, you said.
Yeah, I mean,
That's incredibly young.
When we were at school, we were given our papers. I think when we were 16 or 17, I think early matric, and we were told that is the army base you're going to. So we knew halfway through matric that you're either going to go and study or that's where you're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't really given much options. It's just, it is the way it is.
Yeah, and the big, when you're small, you see all these army men around you, and we forget that the army was everywhere in those days.
Yeah.
The police were everywhere in those days too.
It just became normal.
And it was just the normal thing. There was a car parked down the road that was suspicious, and later on you found out, that was actually the security police. Meantime, you're just kicking a ball, running around there, not knowing who it is.
Not even realizing.
And then I think the biggest thing that really kicked in was one day at school when the headmaster stood up and read a list of of guys that had been killed a couple of days before.
And these are boys that you'd gone to school with.
And they were prefects the year before, and we were like, wow, we're going there, next year or the year after, and it was an eye opener for me.
It's not as cool as you think,
No,
as
it
it
gives you a
seems,
big
because this
shock,
is real
yeah.
life.
And then the big boys up the road that you've idolized your whole life, and they've built go-karts for you and things like that. When one of them comes back and he hasn't got a leg anymore, then you start thinking, well, I'm going to go there too. But yeah, it's all the little things too, like the story of our maid speaking to our maid over tea and jam sandwiches. And just her stories, what she told us, and we were like petrified. Like she was telling us about these men that would come with axes and pangas, and they would have to spend weeks living in the bushes. And I would sit at night thinking, I was only about 5-6 years old, thinking, are these men going to come to our house?
Yeah.
Those type of stories, they you don't think they affect you at the time, but when you look back and you start reminiscing over them, you think, oh, that actually did have quite a big effect on my life.
Yeah, I can imagine. I suppose, as you said, the youth, like I was born in 92, so I didn't have to, and we moved to this country in December of 92, so we didn't have to worry about any of that. So we've been very lucky, we've been quite spoiled, although South Africa obviously has its problems. Not necessarily to that point, because things have changed. Things have changed a lot. That's very interesting.
Yeah, and that's what we need to remember, is that this country's changed immensely over the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And people like to go and say, oh, the good old days. I remember when it was like this, when we could play under the streetlights. Yes, it was like that. But they don't know that there was also a dark underlay that was there the whole time, that people sort of like pushed aside and only remember.
Well, your parents may have been shielding you slightly, trying to shield you from the worst of it.
Yeah, and people only remember the good things too. They try and remember that. So those other things they push out of their minds, and when someone remembers them, then they go, oh yeah, I remember that.
That actually happened. Well, hence the name of the story, which is The Bad Old Days. A bit of a twist on the usual saying.
I really enjoyed doing it because it sort of like pushed my boundaries.
Yes.
And it was sort of like, should I say this? And it's like, no, I have to say it. You know, you have to be honest about it.
Yes, because in no way or form or fashion was apartheid right.
Exactly.
But we've got so many multiple sides to the story, and hearing every single sides of history is what means we can actually come up with a rational, in the middle, we can meet and actually understand the whole story.
And also an important thing is that, I'm going to put myself out there again, but the white people in South Africa were always the bad people.
I suppose.
And it's a way of showing other people in our country that we also suffered. Yes, we didn't suffer half as bad as what they did, but
it was still there.
But it was still there, and we also didn't believe that it was right too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as a child or a young man, you just went along with it. Was just kind of like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
But that's fantastic, and look at how everything's changed, how everything's evolved, and the country's constantly evolving. And I'm a very proud South African, despite the fact that I wasn't even born in this country. I count myself very lucky to have been raised here. My parents made the right decision by moving us here, definitely. But thank you very much, Warren, for that. That's phenomenal. But if you guys want to hear more in depth on some of those stories, and that particular story, you can go on to Thoughts of a Middle-Aged Man by Warren Loader online. There are so many stories there, so many interesting stories. You guys are going to love it. But we're going to have a little ad break now, and then after this, we're going to be talking to Sharon Sinclair from Chandramala. So stick around.
Dear Mom, you're my best friend, okay? You're the funniest person I met in the whole world, but you're so bad at hiding. You do make the best brownies though. I love it when we go riding together. When I'm older, I want to be pretty like you. Happy birthday, Mom.
Welcome back, everyone, and we have Sharon back on the couch with us, bringing us yet another enlightening conversation. What are we talking about today?
Morning, Zoe. I think today we're going to be talking about simplicity through nature.
Okay.
And if anybody knows me, they know that I'm bare feet at home and I'm always groveling in the garden.
The heels get put on for special occasions.
Yes, only special occasions. Then it takes me about a week to adjust to get into those shoes. And so nature is so therapeutic for us. And I actually placed an article on Facebook yesterday around the importance of nature for us as human beings, and how we tend to, in today's society, with media and technology and all the pressure and the demands of day-to-day life, we have to speed things up and we have to move so fast, and almost like our body and our sensory system and our emotions just can't keep up with all the demands, and we just take so much on, and we have got to do such a lot. We've got to multitask all the time. And so we don't really give our bodies enough time to really kind of integrate and adjust and heal. And so nature is so important for us to actually heal and to clarify the mind. And a lot of people, and I'll invite you to come over to my place one day and you can experience the energy there. But it's when people come through to visit our premises, where Chandramala facilitates team building and strategy sessions and just renewal getaways, you come there and you can come with the biggest load of concerns and troubles and worries, but as soon as you walk through the garden and down to the river, you come back up again and you just feel so much relieved and so much more relaxed. And so people always ask, so what is it about? Have you got something going on? But it's nature. And so this is the gift that us as human beings have, is if we spend more time in nature, we are healed and nourished from such a deep level, because nature directly impacts our endocrine system, our immune system, as well as all our emotional bodies. And automatically they're sort of like a sponge, and they draw all the confusion, negativity, the bad self-talk. It actually draws out of our system, and we feel so much relaxed and so much more clearer. By being in nature.
That's insane. And it's just a good testament to the fact that you want to be so careful of the vibe that you surround yourself around on a day-to-day basis, like at home, in the office. That's why I suppose that's where you come in, because if people are going to an office space that has that negative vibe, you can't expect the best from people. I mean, we were discussing this morning that I love the moment I walk in through the door of the studio here. It's just like the positive energy in the studio hits me every single morning, and I just can't help but be happy and just be like, oh, this is awesome, I'm here, aren't I the luckiest girl in the world?
Absolutely.
That's insane. And that's where you come in professionally, helping people.
That's right,
deal
yes.
with that.
Because most of the people are working in a concrete jungle, and the environment isn't necessarily conducive, or it hasn't been aligned. But in particularly, it's important, especially when we do team building or we do strategy sessions, and we're really wanting to help our staff or our people, our family members even, to really be at an optimal level, not only emotionally, but mentally and physically. The benefits of actually doing any sort of facilitation or time out, a picnic out in nature, is so beneficial for us. You know, from a mental wellness point, I mean, I know that globally everybody's on mental health. And nature is so therapeutic for us on a mental health state. And so it's important. That's why we have a lot of old age homes and hospitals that allow pets to come in. They've always got a plant, because it's nature. There's no judgment, there's no prejudice, there's no negativity, because nature only knows one thing, which is the path of least resistance, which is grow, flourish, bloom, blossom, which is amazing, where human beings have a tendency, because they're coming more from a cognitive point, and it's all in the mind, and they've got to analyze and analyze and analyze, and eventually they're so past analyzing that they don't even know who they are.
Yes.
And so we see these beautiful benefits of when you look at a family that maybe is disconnected, and they're either all on their cell phones, etc., and you take them for a weekend away in nature, where maybe there's a river or by the ocean, and you notice how they connect.
Yes.
It's almost as if it's like a fresh new family. And so nature has this ability to
A fresh start.
To connect us from one person to another. And so a lot of acceptance, a lot of allowance, but it's that connection. It's like something that we really need more of that.
Yes.
Is nature.
Well, I'm very lucky. I'm getting my fresh start this weekend. We're going to the Berg.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I deliberately love going to the place that's the furthest away. We're like really close to the Lesotho border.
Oh,
and
lovely.
it takes us ages to get there. We have to do a whole weekend shopping because we're not going back. It takes an hour to get to like the nearest shop. And I'm so excited because I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and it took us like 40 minutes to get to Ashleigh Spa.
That's the best.
So when Spa still used to be in Ashleigh Main Street, that is. And I just got so used to not being able to see my neighbours. Our nearest neighbours were a few hills over, and we were all horsey people. So meeting up with the neighbours was, get on your horses and we'll meet on that one tree, on that one junction, on that hill right over there. That was my childhood.
And they're so therapeutic.
That's what
and
I
so
was used
healthy.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And now I can see my neighbours, where I had to get used to life. We couldn't live in the sticks forever. So I love having an excuse to get away, and you're right, it is like a fresh start, because we crave it, both my husband and I. For him, it's just fly fishing, just sitting on the water.
And that's so relaxing and so therapeutic.
Yeah. And now my eldest boy is old enough to join in.
Wonderful.
So he's going to be learning how to fly fish this weekend.
Fantastic.
As best as a little one can.
It sounds exciting and so relaxing and so therapeutic for families to do more of that.
It's incredible how we just crave it.
Yes.
Like with every weekend that you go, we're planning the next one.
Oh, wonderful.
Because it's funny how before having kids, we were there every month. And it definitely is good for the soul.
Yes,
and
very
despite the
good.
fact that we have kids and it's harder, I think it is important for everybody to...
It is. It might be harder.
To try and do it.
Yes, yes. It might be harder from a time point to juggle everything, but I think it's very important for children to spend a lot of time in nature.
That's
good for them.
Yes, it is, especially as you said, disconnecting from technology for a little bit. It's hard. I have my cell phone on hand, always. I just can't help it. It's just an extension of my hand, isn't it?
I know.
But it's important to put it away every now and again.
Absolutely.
What a fantastic message that is. Thank you. Well, you guys heard it. Put your cell phones down for a little while, guys. Turn the TV off and actually go and enjoy nature that is out there. So right after this, we're going to be having an ad break, and then we're going to be moving on to the entertainment segment, which would usually happen tomorrow, but it's going to be today, and that is an interview with Ashleigh Joseph, followed by the Weekend Vibe. Stick around.
Passion, purpose, and aligned action is the driving force for all change. Chandramala is a mindful business consultancy bringing people and businesses together. Join me every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on Ballito TV as I take you through a business alignment process and journey. Remember, now is your most precious moment.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. We have another fabulous artist in with us, as usual, as promised every single Friday morning. And this week we have Ashleigh. Finally getting you here. Holy, absolutely moly, you're here.
Finally.
How exciting. We've only been trying to do this for months.
Exactly. I think like 3, 4, maybe.
Yes, yes, but I pestered you enough and we're here.
We are here, finally. Thank you for having me. It's so awesome to be here, finally.
I know. Now, we were just talking before we went on air.
Yes.
Everyone knows you as actually Joseph, but I believe that changed recently.
Yes. So in April of this year, I got married to a wonderful man, Mr. Neil Jackson. So the Jacksons got a hold of me.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So instead of just going as Ashleigh Joseph, everyone knows me as Ashleigh Joseph, just change to Ashleigh J. Instead of,
just to simplify things.
Absolutely.
Yes, I know. I have the same thing with Zoe Sturgeon, born, but married Zoe Garland. So some people know me as one or the other, so I'll just switch between the two.
Look at the celebrity surnames.
just-
Garland, Jackson.
I know, and it's just convenient, isn't it? I think I'm actually related to the Jacksons. The Garlands are related to the Jacksons distantly, but all these old families are.
Fancy.
Oh, so fancy. I know, it's also when I named my kids as well, that I went for quite posh names. It's like Slade Robert Garland.
Oh, wow.
Jaden Gerald
They should just get knighted one time.
Just get that pinky out. Pip, pip. But anyway, let's talk about you. That's why we're here.
Yes.
So Ashleigh, we see your name everywhere. I've seen you playing at quite a few local venues. But let's go back in time.
Okay.
Where did music start for you?
So music started at a very young and tender age, 4 years old to be exact. I think it was my dad that kind of, picked it up, and he actually put me into the choir at church. That's where it all started, a little church mouse.
Nice.
So started singing in the children's choir at church, and then as grew older, moved on to the youth choir, and then adult choir, and so on. And it never stopped because I still sing in church today. So as I grew up, started singing solos in church, and then I think it was at the age of 10 that I did my first professional production. And that was quite exciting because I got paid at 10 years old.
How exciting. I also remember when I was about 12, same thing. It's like,
yes,
I'm a professional now.
You know? So it was very exciting. And I think after 10 years old, I just started taking on the bigger stages, started doing productions at Playhouse, Elizabeth Snedden Theatre during high school. And then when I matriculated, I started singing with a live band called the Duke's Combo. Well, just before I matriculated, I think I was 15, so grade 10. Started singing with a live band and got the live band exposure.
How exciting.
And then after matriculating, I didn't go into music straight away. I went into speech and drama, thinking I'd become this big and famous actress.
Oh, goodness. How exciting.
But pop goes dooey, so that didn't happen. After that, I studied music for a year. I studied jazz, but unfortunately jazz I didn't really enjoy it. It's not my genre. So I went on to study beauty, and I pursued that as a career first before I went into music full time. Did beauty for about 4 years, and then in 2018 I officially left beauty and just decided to spread my wings and do it as a solo artist. And it's been so amazing ever since. I've been gigging every weekend non-stop, and it's just been a blessing. Music has really taken me through some big doors, it's closed some doors. It's taken me through a good roller coaster, and I'm grateful for that.
But it's something you're passionate about,
Absolutely.
so you get to be excited about your work, which makes the difference, doesn't it?
Definitely,
It really does.
definitely. More especially, it runs in my family, you know. My dad's a musician himself, full-time musician as well. So also a bit of my mom's side, my gran was a singer back in her day. So it's a good exposure that I got from the family as well. Yeah, they taught me a lot.
At least it's something the family would support as well.
They do,
from a young
very
age.
much.
I can imagine starting in church. I also used to do the church band thing, and it's a good experience because you can make your mistakes. You got this kind of close community.
Absolutely.
You get to practice with an audience that's understanding.
Yeah, and none of them are judging except the man above.
It's good trial and error there, isn't it?
Definitely.
And then you get thrown into the real world with an audience that will judge you rather harshly sometimes.
Tell me about it.
And you always get the Karen in the corner that wants to complain. But it's just the way it is, hey?
I know all too well about that. Oh, I've experienced something every day of my life, so yeah.
Yes, that's the thing when you've been gigging for a while. Different venues, different audiences, having to just go with the flow. It's quite exciting.
It
Makes things
is.
very exciting.
It is. It's really exciting. You know, also getting to meet new people every day and finding out their likes and dislikes, and you know, it's amazing. But also a lot of people from the page, you know, from the fan page, come through and watch you, and you know, just hearing them speak to you it's amazing, and hearing what you do for them, you know, through music. It's really heartwarming, and it's humbling. So. Yeah, it's a great experience.
Now let's talk about something more current. Obviously, COVID kind of stopped everything, but I've been talking to a few of my friends, even James, actually bumped into him downstairs, and he says he's gigging so much. The gigging has picked up again.
Yes,
is that right?
It has.
That's
I
good.
think people are not even worried anymore. You know, it's been so long. It's been such a tiring and draining year for everybody, you know. So people are just wanting to get out there again and wanting to...
We can still have fun and be cautious.
Yes, exactly. So, well, we're very grateful to be gigging again and, you know, back up and running.
That's
and
awesome.
into the drive of things.
Yes.
But it's awesome to see that people are also, you know, so supportive of us. And yeah, so it's just good to see people back out and, you know, trying to get into some sort of normality again.
Yes,
and for us, that's
finding
a
that
good
normality
thing.
in the
Yes.
chaos is very important because we're just learning to accept that this is the new normal.
Absolutely.
Now you mentioned, I think you said 2019 you released a single,
Yes.
which I assume people can find online if they look you up.
Yes, absolutely. They can find it on all music digital platforms.
Okay.
So your YouTube, Spotify, Deezer,
Phenomenal.
Google Play, all of that. It's called Signs.
Yes.
Ashleigh J. Check it out. It's
that's
it's an
exciting.
awesome summer hit. It was released in summer in December 2019. So it's an awesome jam. It's
How
really
awesome.
something to rock to.
And just looking into the future slightly, are there any plans, anything exciting that you have on the books for us?
I'll be very honest with you. I live each day as it comes.
Especially at the moment, we don't know what's going to happen, do we?
It's been a hell of a crazy year, not knowing where to go.
Yes.
So I've just been
Playing it by ear.
I've literally been playing it by ear. Not a good thing because I do want to have these goals that I want to reach. My goals being, you know, I'd love to make an album. I'd love to do that. It's just that I have been so busy, you know, and that's the part that I'm so grateful for is being busy and gigging every weekend and not having that time to actually focus on, you know, getting into studio. So I think it's a good thing in a way.
Because you're
you know?
working.
Absolutely. I'm working every single weekend, and the weeks are hectic as well because I'm not just sitting and doing nothing. I'm meeting clients. I'm doing admin, invoicing, and quotations, and this and that.
Phenomenal.
So it's wonderful to be working, but I guess I'll just have to.
Well, if anything
sit
happens,
and think about a plan.
if you do start playing an album, you need to tell us.
Absolutely.
And I would also love to get you in here at some point for a live
Yes,
performance.
that
We do
would
live
be
performances
great.
here in the studio sometimes as well. So
Wonderful.
We'll have to look into that. That sounds
Absolutely. I am so here for that.
absolutely happening. But thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. It was really great to be here. Thanks, Zoe.
Lovely. And we'll definitely be seeing you soon. And you guys heard it, look her up. Ashleigh under J now. Ashleigh J, simplifying life. That's fantastic. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. And you guys saw it, go online. Stick around, actually. We should hopefully be playing one of her songs at the end of the show. Welcome back, everyone, and we are going straight into our weekend vibes. What is happening? Remember, everyone, it is Halloween, so all the spooky and scaries are going to be out there. So let's see what is happening. Starting on Friday, we have Bootleggers. Don Seagreen will be there from 6 p.m. Then locally at Caribou, Josh will be starting at 6 p.m. Yami, our darling friend Ashleigh J, will be there at 6:30, and Johnny will be entertaining you from 6 p.m. at Hops. Now, something y'all need to be aware of is that the Surf Co. right here in the Bill Vista Centre in Ballito Village are having a birthday bash. This is going to be happening just outside Conchas. There's going to be DJs, music, food. It's going to be freaking epic, guys. It's going to be so much fun, you don't want to miss out. Then moving on to Saturday, we have Sly entertaining you from 6 p.m. at Hops. And Fiamma Grill actually have an epic big event happening, kicking off at 5 p.m. As I understand it, there are going to be welcome drinks on arrival. That's going to be happening out by the pool bar. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be DJs. The vibe is going to be epic. You can find more information on that on Facebook. Then, moving out to the O&O Cafe at 4 p.m., Dansray Thunder Spray is going to be starting at 4 p.m. And then back to Bootleggers, we will have Carmen Rodriguez at 7 p.m. Then moving on to a Sunday fun day, Nick Pittman and friends, I should say, will be up at 2 p.m. at the Thirsty Whale. And then at Willowway Manor at 11, Don Seagreen will be there. Then locally at Hops, we have James at 2 p.m. Now, the biggest event of the weekend. Now, I just wanted to talk about this separately. Over at the Ashleigh Country Club, we have the Halloween bash that happened last year as well. This is the Maze of Horrors. Absolutely epic. It's going to be running all weekend. So if you want to go on Friday, that's going to be happening from 5 to 9 p.m. On Saturday, it'll be starting at 12 to 9 p.m. Then Sunday at 10 to 5 p.m. There is something for everybody there. It's going to be so much fun. And then just a reminder, remember, at the end of the month, at the 30th of October, our friends over at Backyard Bay at Fox Hill are going to be having their launch. Whatever you need, you can pretty much find there, whether it's the recording studio, the skating, or the surfboards, or the food and the drinks. It's going to be an awesome family day out, so don't forget about that one. And I hope you all have a safe weekend. I know the weather's not looking fabulous at the moment, but hopefully it'll clear up. So everyone, be safe. Remember to mask up, sanitize, get out there, have fun, but be cautious. And I'll see you next week.
Welcome back to our Good Morning North Coast show. With me in studio again, I've got Dale. Dale, it's so good having you back on the show.
Hi, Taryn, good to be here again.
Oh, no, it's always great. Dale, so I mean, off air, we've been talking about the amazing innovations and how you guys actually implement your service and how it actually becomes your core business. Do you want to tell the viewers about the actual process behind the process?
Sure, yeah. So I think the way that it's traditionally happened with regards to printing services is, well, traditionally there's a lot of companies that still sit with outdated equipment, and anyone knows toner is one of the most expensive expenses within the office, you know. So what we've tried to do is give a bundled service to our clients where we can account for every single cent. So along with the renting of the actual equipment to get the latest technology, with the goal being to drop those costs.
Of course.
We put an SLA in place that really takes care of any hidden surprise costs.
Okay.
We make sure toner, call-outs, parts, everything's included in that. Then the client knows, you know, that for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, those things are included.
Sure.
We're accountable to them for that, so the SLA isn't just to look after us,
it's for
them
to look
after
well.
them as well. Yeah, so that's the main thing, is
brilliant.
to provide them with a solution to say, here's your costs, here's how we're going to control it, and here's the transparency and how it works.
I feel like previously you said in our previous interview that you do the financing side of it as well, and that's obviously all calculated into it when you present it to the client. They'll automatically feel more at ease. I mean, for that bond between you and client as well, I mean, it's precious almost.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so for us, like with all the new technology coming out, I think it usually starts with going into the office and doing a bit of an assessment, because what can seem like a lean office, a lot of the time there's a lot of hidden costs going through there. And when the control element gets lost there, that's when it becomes more of a necessity to get someone like us in to actually assess and show you what a proper solution could look like. So at that particular stage, we would actually work out for the client that per page, they're actually running at a lot higher than they think.
Than what they actually are.
Yeah, we come in, we say, right, we're going to now include it at X amount per page, and that includes everything. That includes your new fancy hardware. Here's the payment plan that you've got. You essentially just paying for a cost per copy.
How amazing. And then obviously, like, now I'm your client and I've got a contract and I can't get out of it. What can we do to get out of that contract?
That's such a common question I get. And so part of our experience is we've got, first of all, we've got an internal finance division. We've also got some serious backing with some players behind us that we've been working with for a long time. And essentially, it's our call to go in, and if a client's stuck in one of these contracts, we can really look at that contract and say to them, when we look at it holistically with all your costs, we're able to show you quite an accurate picture of what you're spending. Coming in with a new solution, a lot of the times we can either match or bring the costs even further down and get them out of that contract and allow them to sign one contract with one SLA.
Brilliant. I'm sure many of your ears are tingling right now listening to that, because that's usually your main concern. And then again, when you've got problems with your equipment and I don't know what I must do, technology always has problems. And we all have to log tickets or call a call center. How do we go about that when my printer malfunctions? How would you then come and help us?
Yeah, I think we can all agree if you want to really perturb a client off, you're going to go say to them, have you logged a ticket? Like no one really wants to hear that. So one of the things we did in our service contract was we identified this area just from going to clients and actually thinking things were okay. And them saying, no, something's been down or this or that. And I think the go-to question at that point is, has someone logged a ticket? And a lot of the times no one had because they're too busy. So I think we now understanding that, we actually said, for us, that's not what we want. We don't want to go into an office where someone hasn't logged the ticket. So we developed a WhatsApp business facility, and all our clients now each have a WhatsApp group. Whoever wants to be on that WhatsApp group is on there. The goal of that system is that we know about it as soon as something is down. I don't want to walk into a client and something's done and no one's logged a call or whatnot. So that's the first thing. Guys, you can have 20, 30, 40 people on that group. Whoever is printing, if something's an issue, they just say, printing down. Obviously, with our IT background, we don't have to go in and say, call your IT guy or this or that. We just get them printing. That's the main thing.
And obviously, it saves time and cost for the client too. You're not going to wait a long time in order to hear feedback or hopefully get an email as to, the technician will be out. It's just so efficient.
It is, and I think, these days, 99% of the support can be handled online.
That's amazing.
So instead of a technician coming out, spending time on the printer there, leaving, and then 2 hours later something goes down and the guys have got to wait another 24, 48 hours, ours is a live help desk. It really just looks out for the best interests of the client.
Yeah, and I mean, printers are a big thing right now. Like, we're all working from home. COVID's actually turned everything back to being very reliant on printers, hasn't it?
Absolutely, And we all know that if a printer goes down, it usually gets its timing pretty right.
It's always when you don't want it to go down, isn't it?
Exactly.
And then you're going to have to correct me here, but off air we were talking about how you can actually monetize and make your database a bit more profitable, for instance, for your attorneys and for other firms. Don't you just want to explain to our viewers exactly how that works?
Sure. So if we look at the professional services industries like your attorneys, so a lot of these companies are manually calculating their printing on behalf of their clients. and then adding that to invoice. And part of a full end-to-end managed print solution automates that entire process. So essentially, like an attorney company could cost out all those things, whether it's the hardware, the services, absolutely everything, but build in their labor, build in the services they're doing, and actually turn what could be a cost center into a profit center, which becomes quite appealing, So essentially, they're getting this solution paid for and using it as a profit center.
And they still gain
and the whole thing's automated. So that would be a full managed print solution. We've got hardware in a company. We've got software that allocates costs either internally or externally to the clients. And at the end of the day, when we come, we say, well, this thing's actually making you money. Let's see how we can improve it.
Isn't it just amazing how the right concept can just monetize and almost make everything a bit more efficient for a corporate? Is just absolutely what you guys are doing is great.
And it all starts with the, just going in and having a look and really talking to staff, finding out how they're printing, what they're doing. And that's the part I'd say we really enjoy.
Yes.
Because it makes the actual quoting easy, because you've actually really taken the time to find out what the problem areas are.
Of course.
And that's how we can align to not only our goals, but their goals as well.
Perfect. Oh, Dale, it's so lovely having you in the studio, and we wish you all the best. And guys, this is an opportunity none of you want to miss out on, and it's just a win. It's a win-win for everyone at the end of the day. It's an absolute amazing concept. It's an amazing concept. Thank you so much, Dale, for being in the studio. Wish you all the best. Have a super week.
Thank you.
We're going to go to a quick ad break, and we'll be right back.
Hi Ballito, I'm Tanya. I'm the lady from So It Seems Benina in Ballito. You can find us in Richard Park, right across from the Hirsch. The new shop, it's 3 times bigger than the old shop. We have lots more fabric, a lot more haberdashery items. If you can't sew, I will teach you how to sew. I have an additional teacher that helps us sew, and we have a fabulous space upstairs. Looking for a Benina machine or a Bonnet? I will sort you out with that one. In this little area, we do everything. We service the sewing machine, we service the overlocker. We fix it up for you. Within a week, you'll have it back. While you go through the pattern books, we have a coffee shop in-house called Buttonless Coffee. You can have a coffee or a snack to eat while you do your pattern searching, fabric searching, or sewing upstairs with us. See you soon!
Thank you, everyone, and that winds up our extended show for the day. I hope you enjoyed all of it. What a jam-packed, exciting show that it was. I would, of course, like to thank all of you, our viewers, our guests, our multiple amounts of guests that were on with us today, and of course our sponsors for making this show possible. And a little reminder that Chandramala will be showing yet another episode this evening at 7:30, and we are going to be ending and closing this show as usual on some music, and today it will be by the lovely Ashleigh Joseph we were speaking to just now. And then after this, get the kids ready because we have Laugh Out Larry right after the show. I will see you all. Remember, we're not on Friday and we're not going to be on Monday, so we will see you bright and early Tuesday morning. Have a fabulous weekend.
I want you to be mine.